you've been hitting your targets, showing up every day, doing everything your manager asked, and your promotion still isn't coming, it's not just you. Something changed inside corporate America in 2026, and most employees don't see it yet. By the end of this video, you will. Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, glad you found this channel. We talk about real career strategy, not the polished LinkedIn version of it. Hit subscribe if that's your kind of content. Now, let's get into this. What I'm about to break down affects millions of American workers right now. Almost nobody is talking about it, honestly. Let's go back to 2019 for a second. The typical corporate ladder made sense. You worked hard, got noticed, got promoted. Maybe it took 2 years, maybe 3, but the path was there. Companies were growing, needing more managers, directors, VPs. There was room to move up. Then 2020 happened. Then the hiring boom of 2021. Then mass layoffs of 2022 and 2023. What came out on the other side was a completely different corporate structure, one most employees don't realize they're operating inside of. Here's what actually happened. Companies got forced to do more with less during the pandemic. They made a discovery, a very uncomfortable discovery for anyone trying to climb the ladder. They found out they didn't need as many managers as they thought. AI tools started handling reporting. Automation started handling coordination. Project management software replaced the middleman between two teams. McKinsey, Deloitte, multiple workforce studies, all published the same findings around 2023 and 2024. Organizational layers were shrinking. The classic pyramid with lots of room in the middle was getting flatter. A flat org chart has one very brutal implication for you. Fewer rungs on the ladder. So when your VP says, we just don't have the budget for promotions right now, they're not entirely lying. But they're also not telling you the full truth, because this isn't just a budget problem. It's a structural one. And that difference matters more than most people realize. Now, here's where it gets personal and where most people start connecting the dots. Have you ever gotten a new title without a meaningful pay raise? Maybe you went from specialist to senior specialist, or analyst to lead analyst. Sounds like a win on paper, but your paycheck barely moved. That's called title inflation. And companies have been doing it quietly for the last 2 years, as a substitute for actual upward mobility. Think about it from the company's perspective. They can't give you a director role because they're eliminating director roles, but they also can't tell you that because you'd leave. So instead, they give you a fancier title. They add a little bit of scope to your job, maybe throw in a 3% raise. And suddenly you feel like you moved forward, without the company actually having to promote you into a layer that they're actively trying to shrink. And it gets worse. There's something happening called a quiet hiring freeze. It's different from a public layoff announcement. No press release, no all-hands meeting. Companies just stop backfilling roles, stop creating new positions. And when a senior person leaves, instead of replacing them with a promotion from below, they either redistribute the work or they bring in someone external at a lower salary. That last part is key. If you've been passed over for a role and then watch someone from outside the company come in and take it, that's not a coincidence, and it's not about your performance. It's a cost decision. External hires at lower levels cost less than promoting someone who already knows their worth inside the company. And here's the one that really hits home. More responsibility, same salary. You know the feeling. Your team got smaller, but your project list got longer. You're technically doing the job of 1.5 people, but your title hasn't changed. Your comp hasn't moved. And when you bring it up, you hear, we really value everything you're doing. Let's revisit this in the next review cycle. That's not a promise, that's a stall. And the longer you wait for that cycle to come around and actually deliver something, the more you realize the cycle was never designed to deliver it. Here's the part I really need you to hear. This is not about your performance. I know that's hard to believe when you've been told your whole career that if you just work hard enough, the results will speak for themselves. That meritocracy is real. That the best performers rise. And look, in some companies, in some environments, that's still true. I am not here to tell you effort doesn't matter. But what I am telling you is this. When the ceiling is structural, no amount of performance breaks through it. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine a company has 100 employees and 10 manager roles. Every year, some people get promoted into those 10 roles when someone leaves or when the company grows. But what if the company decides they only need 7 manager roles now? Suddenly, the pipeline to leadership just got 30% smaller, and that has nothing to do with how good you are. It's math. Companies in slow growth periods or in margin protection mode shrink the number of leadership positions available. They optimize for shareholder value, for earnings per share, for analyst expectations on Wall Street. Your career trajectory is not on that spreadsheet. And I know that's a frustrating thing to hear, but understanding it is the first step to doing something about it. So now you understand what's happening. Let's talk about what smart people are actually doing about it right now. Because there are people inside these same flat, squeezed corporate structures who are still moving up, and they're doing it differently than everyone else. The first thing they're doing is building leverage instead of loyalty. The employees who are getting promoted in 2026 are not the ones who've been at the same company the longest. They're the ones who have options and who companies know have options. The moment your employer knows you could leave tomorrow and 3 other companies would call you back, your value inside that company changes overnight. That means you need to be active on LinkedIn. You need to be having conversations with recruiters, even when you're not looking. You need to have a sense of your market value in real time. Loyalty is not a career strategy anymore. Leverage is. The second thing smart people are doing is stacking skills that cross departments. The employees who are surviving flat org structures are the ones who can do more than one thing well. If you're in marketing and you can read a finance report, you're more valuable. If you're in operations and you understand basic data analysis, you're harder to replace and harder to ignore. Think about what skill learned in the next 6 months would make you useful in 2 departments instead of 1. That's your next move. Not another year of doing the same thing better, but expanding what you can do entirely. The third thing is considering internal mobility before making an external jump. If your current company has opened a new function, a new team, a new initiative, that is where the new leadership roles are being created. The old departments are getting flatter. The new ones are still building their structure. Don't just wait for your current path to open up. Look sideways inside your own organization. A lateral move into a growing team often leads to faster vertical movement than waiting in a stagnant one. And it lets you grow without the risk and uncertainty of leaving a company entirely. And the fourth thing, maybe the most important, is that they stopped waiting for validation. One of the most common mistakes high performers make is waiting for someone above them to notice them and reward them for it. In a flatter org, your manager may have 12 direct reports. They're not spending their mental energy figuring out how to promote you. You need to make your own case. Document your impact in numbers. Bring it to your manager. Request a direct conversation about your growth path, not at review time, but proactively, months before. If the answer is vague or keeps getting pushed off, that's data. That tells you whether there's actually a path forward at this company or whether you need to create one somewhere else. Here's the bottom line. The promotion slowdown you're experiencing is not a reflection of your ability. It's the result of a massive structural shift in how American corporations are organized, funded, and run. Companies are flatter. A boosted output per employee. Leadership layers got cut. And the middle of the org chart, which used to be where ambitious people built careers, is now the most competitive, most stagnant, most quietly squeezed part of any corporate structure. But here's the thing about knowing this. Once you stop blaming yourself, once you stop thinking, I just need to work harder or I just need to wait a little longer, you can start making moves that actually work. Build leverage, not loyalty. Stack skills. Move toward growth inside or outside your company. Make your case proactively. And if the ceiling is real and structural, don't wait for it to open. Go somewhere it doesn't exist. Because the people who will get ahead in the next 3 years are not the ones who worked the hardest inside a broken system. They're the ones who understood the system and made smart, strategic decisions because of it. That's the difference. And now you see it. If this gave you clarity on something you've been feeling but couldn't quite name, drop a comment below. Tell me where you are in your career right now. I read every single one. And if you know someone who's stuck waiting on a promotion that keeps not coming, send them this video. It might be the thing that shifts how they see their situation entirely. I'll see you in the next one.